Hello guys, today I am discussing with you people about the active transport. So the word active is very important to understand the mechanism of the active transport. Actually active means the energetically active, or we can say the process that requires energy, or the process that requires ATP is called as active transport. So, if we define the active transport is the movement of particles through cell membrane or the selectively permeable membrane or the partially permeable membrane from the region of low concentration to the region of high concentration using the energy from the respiration that is happening in our body. So we can say importance of active transport. What is the importance actually, do you think? Because not all the substances that we required are always present in the less quantity in our body. They may be excess in our body, but we are unable to use, so we have to take them inside the body, so by the active transport. So if the diffusion were the only method by which a cell could take in substances, it would have no control over what went out and what went in. Anything that was more concentrated outside would diffuse into the cell, whether it is harmful or not. Substances which the cell needed would diffuse out as soon as their concentration inside the cell rose above that outside it. The cell membrane, however, has a greater deal of control over the substances which enter or leave the cell. In some cases, substances are taken into or expelled from the cell against the concentration gradient, because if something toxic is present extravagantly outside but the present less quantity inside the cell, so we can say this is not taken into the cell because it is toxic. For example, sodium ions may continue to pass out of the cell even though the concentration outside is greater than inside the cell lining. The small intestine take up glucose against the concentration gradient. The process by which substances are moved against a concentration gradient are not fully understood, may be quite different from the different substances, but they are all generally described as the active transport. It is very vital because if you think, if you eat something or you eat banana or very crispy substances or something other than the fruits or the high source of carbs, so you take it into your GIT, and if you look, there will be lesser quantity present in the blood and there is more quantity present in the GIT, but you can say the absorption is taking place from GIT to blood, from high quantity of carbs to the low quantity. So this is actually done by the active transport. So active transport is really very necessary to make you living. Anything which interferes with respiration, such as lack of oxygen or glucose, prevents the active transport taking place. This indicates that active transport needs supply of energy from respiration. The carrier molecules, which are shown in the diagram, they are responsible for transporting substances. So here we can see the diagram. The substances combines with the carrier proteins. So these are protein. This is actually the cell membrane. This is cell membrane. This whole is the cell membrane, and these are the proteins that are present inside the cell membrane. Actually, these are the transporter or the channels or the carrier proteins. So if the glucose molecules are present excess, so we can say this is the substances of protein that are present outside the more, so they will of course enter through the energy that is used by the respiration. So we can see combination of active transport and controlled diffusion seem to occur. For example, sodium ions are thought to get into the cell by diffusion through special pores in the membrane are expelled, a form of active transport. So there is a need to remove the sodium ions outside, because it is also necessary for the relaxation, or we can see for the depolarization or the resting state. The reversed diffusion gradient for sodium ions created in this way is very important in the conduction of nerve impulses in the nerve cells. So epithelial cell in the villi of the small intestine have the role of absorbing glucose against the concentration gradient. As I already mentioned, The process of absorption also an example of active transport. The cell contains numerous mitochondria in which respiration takes place. Chemical energy produced is converted into kinetic energy for the movement of glucose molecule. The same type of process occur in the cells of kidney tubules for the reabsorption of glucose molecule into the bloodstream against their concentration gradient. Plants need to absorb mineral salts from the soil, but these salts are in very dilute solution. Active transport enables the cells of plant roots to take up salts from this dilute solution against the concentration gradient. Because inside the plant there are of course more salt are present as compared to the soil, but inside the soil there is less salts present, so plants still need to be taken up the salts, so there is need to uh, active transportation. Again, chemical energy for respiration is converted into kinetic energy for the movement of molecules. So this is a diagram that is very important diagram for the concept. So thank you, and please subscribe my channel, and press the bell icon for the further information and for this type of videos. So today we have finished our chapter, and in the next lecture inshallah we will discuss about the chapter number 4, that is a biological molecules. That is very basic and very important chapter of your IGCSE or the O levels biology. Thank you.